Viewers, you're watching a special edition of Explosive Exclusive. Navika, we have a big one.
That's right. The death mystery of Sushant Singh Rajput is only deepening with each passing day. And today, as part of our continuous coverage on this investigation, we are bringing to you a first-hand account from the forensic team that has confirmed what we have been saying all along and what we showed you yesterday. In a candid camera admission, the forensic team that was one of the first to reach Sushant Singh Rajput's residence and conduct an autopsy has confirmed that pages were ripped out of Sushant's diary. In this candid camera conversation, the forensic experts point out to what can be a classic case of tampering of evidence and even what could have been a dying declaration. We showed you excerpts yesterday. Today, we are giving you the face, the man who actually conducted this entire investigation. We are not talking in the air, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever we've said is not based on theories, conjectures, WhatsApp forwards. Whatever we have put before you has been part of hard evidence. Whether it was the WhatsApp chats of the family giving complaints, questioning Rhea's behavior and Sushant Singh Rajput's life at risk, to the call records, the questions that it raises, bank accounts, the questions that they raise, and now this diary and the torn pages from it. Let's just look at this candid camera sequence which our reporter Priyank Tripathi got with the forensic experts.
Do you think any suspicious was there or anything which needs further investigation?
We could not make a mind for this on who might have taken it. That we cannot, that we noted, that we mentioned in our report also. लेकिन आपको कोई ब्लड टैंक्स मिले ना उसका वो बहुत ज़्यादा पेंडिंग मिला, आग भी अच्छा था, क्वेश्चन लाइक भी मैं डॉक्टर इमरजेंसी है, इसकी हेल्थ हाइट का मुस्कुलर नहीं करता
बट डिप्रेशन थोड़ा वीक तो हो ही गया था। सर डायरी का फोटो दे सकती है?
नहीं तो वो कैसा वो
हम अच्छा ठीक है आप दिखा दो।
रेड कलर है
हमारा ब्लैक और ब्लैक कलर से इसके ब्लैक से आगे इसके आगे तो खाली
नहीं सर एक नाव आहे आणि नावाच्या नंतर पाणी
आगे और लास्ट में लिया था हमने जब जाते जाते लिखा था आपने को जब जा रहे थे बोले डायरेक्ट लिखा है
ये नाम है
ये
उसका
Now, viewers, yesterday we had broken the fact that Sushant Singh Rajput's diary had been tampered with, pages had been ripped off. Today, the confirmation comes via the forensic team that went. Now, viewers, the key takeaways: Times Now's diary expose stands confirmed on camera. Forensic team confirms pages have been ripped out of the diary, and most importantly, the candid camera points to the tampering of evidence. Now, these are the main takeaways, viewers, and let me tell you and put it to you in context. Yesterday, Navika Kumar on the news hour was questioning Buddha Pithani, the individual Navika who was the first, we are now all agreed, that entered the room.
Absolutely, found the body, even ripped the cloth with which Sushant Singh Rajput was found hanging by him. It's allegedly his version.
Yeah.
His version versus nothing anybody else saw.
Yeah.
And he says very clearly that they called a key maker. They did not wait for the sister of Sushant Singh Rajput to reach. They waited 2 hours, but they couldn't wait for the sister to reach before opening the door. They were in a hurry, but they didn't break down the door. They didn't call the guards or the neighbors. They were in a hurry, but they still saw off the key maker, out of the flat before they came and opened the door to Sushant Singh Rajput's
Now you heard that, viewers.
room.
More importantly, when the questions were asked of him about the diary, Navika, he waffled. He first said, yes, no, 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 yes. There were 20 diaries, papers and pages were on the floor. We're going to show you that. There is an admission. Yes, there is an admission by the forensic panel, and there is the waffling of Buddha Patani. Now just watch this.
There were these chits. I'm sure the Neetu ma'am is talking about those chits only. We have shown it to the police officer. They have taken the pictures. They asked for a diary, but we have given them like around 20 diaries. Sushant had a habit of tearing pages when he did not like anything what he have written.
We could not make our mind what was this that have on, who might have found, who might have taken it. That we cannot, that we noted, that we mentioned in our report.
Now, Navika, the question is, did Team Rhea, is it trying to mislead us? Because they're the only ones who had access to that room. They're the only ones who had access to that room. And of course, Priyank Tripathi, who went there and did this sting operation, will be one of the first. He'll be joining us in just about 30 seconds. But I want to ask you, I find this really, really bizarre. Here is Buddha Patani, and he says very, very clearly that, look, there was no diary. Then he says, no, there was a diary when you press him. Then you say, was there papers torn out of a diary? Did you? No, there was no, but there were, I saw chits on the floor. Chits on the floor, okay. Then you said that, what did you do with the chits? No, we didn't do anything with the chits. Maybe the police has taken the chits. When the police has taken the chits, they haven't certainly put them back in that diary, have they? They haven't given it to the forensic team to analyze. There could be fingerprints on those. Diaries have fingerprints. We know this. And most importantly...
And diaries have declarations. Diaries have inside information of what a person was going through.
Then he says he had 20 diaries. What is going on?
Well, clearly, obfuscation seems to be the name of the game. Siddharth Pitani, Buddha Pitani, is summoned by the Enforcement Directorate tomorrow to their Hyderabad office. And clearly, it was Times Now's questioning of Buddha Pitani that led them to actually call him as a crucial character in this entire investigation, and therefore Buddha Pitani is going to be investigated. But what is most surprising is that the Mumbai police did not find him as an asset. They not only questioned him, let him off, but also allowed him to go out of the jurisdiction of Mumbai. He's sitting in Hyderabad with no supplementary questions. He's the one in touch with Rhea. He's the one who's putting money into Rhea's brother's bank accounts. He has so many linkages. He's the man who found the body.
Gave medicines?
He gave medicines. What were these medicines? One was a medicine which, is given for schizophrenia. Now, there are so many questions that this man
which has
answer.
Side effects which are absolutely
side effects,
physically debilitating.
And not one question asked by the Mumbai police. The whole
and the tragedy is that even tomorrow, Navika, though the ED, you're saying that the ED is calling him, they're not going to question him on the diary. They're going to question him on the financial transaction. The bigger mystery, viewers, is what happened to those missing pages. And I think let's go across to Priyank Tripathi, who's done such a spectacular job. Priyank, we must congratulate you, because you have actually brought substance to this entire investigation. All our reporters have been doing a marvelous job of bringing substance to the table, unlike other channels who have been, using WhatsApp forwards and then using anonymous faces and mysterious people to give voice to those WhatsApp forwards and passing them off as investigation. That's not been the case here. I want to bring you in, Priyank Tripathi. You spoke on this one issue, because we're going to keep unraveling more of this this thing up that you did, this candid camera interview that you did, call it what you want. But I want to ask you, when you spoke on the diary issue, did you get a sense that the forensic team itself has been misled?
See, Rahul, the only biggest doubt which these panel of forensic expert, all of whom spoke to me, they had that these missing pages of the diary, and that triggered the point that why is it so that the pages of the diary were missing, but the Mumbai police was not pointing on this particular issue. In fact, the doctors say that we have been observing media, we have been taking out the printout of the newspaper articles and making our own set of questionnaire, and we hope that the Mumbai police official will come to us and ask us a question. But what we broke a few hours back, Rahul, is also alarming, that the DCP had time to call the accused 5 times, 2 outgoing, 2 incoming call and 1 SMS exchange, but the DCP of the area was not even bothered to tell his IO to go and contact the forensic expert, because everyone is coming out with their own set of theory. The job of the investigators is to go into the detail, but instead of going to the detail, they were busy calling with celebrities, small-time celebrities like Rhea Chakravarti, and that is very serious in nature, Rahul. And particular issue, although our viewers will be listening to that particular portion where the doctors were showing helplessness, even after after doing such a commendable job, by going into the detail of this particular investigation, none of the officers, the senior officials of Mumbai police, even bother to get in touch with them. They are prepared with a list of questionnaire, but no one is contacting them. What Mumbai police is doing, they are calling big celebrities, they are getting in touch with Rhea Chakravarti, who was an accused in the Bihar police affair, but still the DCP preferred to call her, not the forensic experts.
Well, Priyank, what is also important to know at this point in time is Siddharth Pithani was present in the room when these diaries were taken by the police. Now, his versions have varied. Do the forensic experts say anything about being taken there? Any photographs of the scene of crime being recorded or shared with them? Anything spectacular that they picked up from the scene?
Yeah, certainly, Navika. So let me go into a bit more detail about this, because what we are going to tell you to viewers is never heard of. What happened that these panel of doctors, who were 5 in number, were taken to this Bandra residence of Sushant Singh Rajput 3 days after the death of Sushant Singh. That was because there was so much of media, so they took them wearing their mask, and these doctors managed to enter the house. What they have told us, that the ceiling fan was not right in the middle of the master bed of Sushant Singh Rajput's room where his body was found. It was towards the end of the bed, which means that if any person attempts to commit suicide or try to hang himself, that would be partial hanging, because they had also taken one of the doctor who was similar to the body weight and height of Sushant Singh Rajput, and almost a dummy test was conducted by these panel of doctors. Later to that, what the doctors say, that if someone slips towards the end of the bed, if I'm able to make our viewers understand, if this is a bed, so the fan was not on the top center of this particular bed. It was towards the end of the bed. So the fan hanger was here. If Sushant would have attempted to commit suicide, that would have been partial hanging, because height of Sushant Singh Rajput and this particular height of from the bed till the ceiling fan was equal. So that would have been partial hanging. The only possibility for any individual to commit suicide was to slip his leg towards the end of the bed. Then only that particular individual can commit suicide. So that is the thing which is very worrying for these forensic experts. They are ready with the answer, but the Mumbai police, as you know, has been reluctant.
It's a very valid point to make, because Priyank, we don't even know if the bed was moved or not, because it was not the police that really got in there first. It was Buddha Pithani and
Buddha Pithani doesn't even know the correct height of Sushant Singh Rajput.
Absolutely.
He says I'm 5'7" and he was 5'8", when the actual recorded height is 183 centimeters, which is above 6 feet. So 5'11" and 6 feet, don't match with the distance between the bed and the fan.
It's very difficult, Navika. Obviously, we haven't been there, but there are many unanswered questions, and where the bed was is fundamental to all of this. Who knows? The bed might have been moved.
Absolutely, but the point is, who wanted to know? The Mumbai police, who took the forensic experts to the site only 3 days later because of media pressure. Well, no forensic examination, and in 3 days, how much of that area had been touched, how much of evidence was lost, is anybody's guess. But let's take a look at that candid camera revelation. That
Three
was
sensational admissions, Navika, of loopholes. The police never called the forensic team. That has been admitted to us. A mysterious 2-day delay has been revealed, and no nail clipping samples taken, and there were other also requests that should have been made by the police to the forensic team to pick up certain, crucial forensic details from Sushant Singh Rajput's body, person. Not done. Here it all now is being revealed. Listen to this, viewers. Was the forensic examination also deliberately botched up?
सर जब वहाँ पे आप लोग गए, did you find anything suspicious or something different on which we should work on? मैं अखबार नहीं पढ़ना सर, मैं सीधे आप
अपन थर्ड डे को गए थे, 16 को गए थे, हम लोग थर्ड डे को गए थे जी। पुलिस बुलाया था, सेकंड डे को नहीं हुआ है क्योंकि यहाँ कोरोना का भी उतना ज़्यादा चल रहा था ना, उसमें हम लोग वक्त नहीं निकाल पाए। और थर्ड डे को जाने के बाद हम लोग escorted by certain officer, because बाहर बहुत मीडिया थी बंगले के, हम लोग सीधा उनको escort करके लेके गए उनको 6th फ्लोर पे हम लोग पहुँचे। 6th फ्लोर के ऊपर ही वो थोड़ा सा स्टेयर है, टॉप में उनका बेडरूम टाइप का, इससे भी थोड़ा 3 फ्लोर टाइप का होगा, सेल्फ कंटेंट का बेडरूम है। हम लोग देखे कि भाई वो जो लैच है लोकल में होल है अंदर, तो नोटिस कर दी। वो तो पहले प्लास्टिक टेप से उन्होंने बंद करके रखा, तो हमारे सामने खोला, एंटर इंसान हम लोग ब्रॉडली ऑब्जर्व किए पूरा पहले क्या क्या चीजें है। फैन 3 साइज बेड होता है, साइड में टेबल से मार्बल के लगे हुए दीवार से और कुछ चीजें रखी हुई है। बाथरूम में अंदर छोटा उसमें अपना बागिंग का सब जो भी आर्टिकल से वो रखे हुए, बॉटल के फ्रिज है ये ब्रॉडली हमने देखा। देन वी ट्राई टू सी ईच एंड एवरीथिंग माइन्यूटली। क्योंकि स्पॉट पर जरा हमने जो पुलिस देखे है ना डायमेंशन को सब थोड़ा वेरीफाई करते हैं प्रॉपर टेक्निक। बेड जो सब इंसान है उसका एक नॉट एक्जैक्टली इन द मिडल, द फैन इज स्लाइटली ऑन द वन साइड, नॉट एक्जैक्टली। वो थोड़ा सा ये समझ लो कि इसका एक एज है बेड का, इसको थोड़ा सा नॉट सेंटर ये साइड में होगा। ठीक है हमने देखा कि ये तो लेंथ थोड़ा कम है, बट व्हेन द पर्सन साउंड एग्जैक्टली द लेंथ से नीचे मिडल में फ्लोर एंड जो है ऑब्वियसली इससे ज़्यादा है लेंथ ऑफ द बॉडी। बाद में जो आजकल टीवी में है कि उनका फिंगर स्कैन पे या लेंथ क्यों नहीं लिया गया, टोटली हमने मेंशन किया कि टोटली ट्रेन है, टोटल ट्रेन है, was not able to just take out the finger nails to some extent. वो मतलब नहीं बनता, वो हमने मेंशन किया।
Going back to Priyank Tripathi, and Priyank Tripathi, they say they went on the 3rd day. They said they took a look. They also talk about the torn pages of the diary. But what is important, they also talk about the fact that there was a hole where the key or the latch should have been, and they removed something flat that was covering it, and then so no fingerprints could have been taken because somebody had already put something flat to cover the whole of the latch. So isn't that one more glaring error that the police would have been making, because the forensic team could not pick up any fingerprints from the latch which had already been covered. So the key maker came, he made a hole right there, something flat covered it, and evidence was lost. Wouldn't that be the right explanation?
Yeah, Navika, you're absolutely right, because the doctors were also saying that when we had gone there, we for the first at the first glance, we could see that the the lock of the door was broken. But things will be more difficult for the CBI officials, Navika, because they will also have to go by the same process. They will also have to call the CFSL expert, which is there's another unit of forensic experts which is there in the Central Bureau of Investigation. So when the CBI team will come to this particular flat, they will have very less thing in their hand, because the flat is empty. The Mumbai police have, the family members have taken every belonging of Sushant Singh Rajput. So what it was tough for the doctors, for the panel of doctors of Cooper Hospital for the initial 3 days, is going to be more tough for the CBI.
So, question number 2 that I want to ask you. I haven't covered crime as much as you and Siddhant have, and I want to ask both of you this question. The forensic expert also said these days a lot of people on TV are questioning why his finger and nail samples were not taken. We mentioned that in the report that they were totally drained. Total drained. He was totally drained. There was no way we could take out the fingernails, and we have mentioned that in the report. What does he mean by totally drained fingernails?
Yeah, certainly, Navika. We also have that expert in the exclusive sequence which we had with these doctors. What they're saying that the fingernails of Sushant Singh Rajput was properly manicured. There was not even this piece of option which through which they could have taken a sample. There are two options. One, either he could have done it artificially, or the second option which the doctors are saying that there are many people who keep on chewing their nails and biting their nail. Because of that, there was no residue which could have been taken out from that in a nail sample.
Siddhant, what do you make of the latch, the gaping hole, and the fact that a flat piece had covered it? Another cover-up, because evidence of fingerprints would have vanished from there.
Well, absolutely right, Navika, because what Priyank has got us, and this is the first-hand testimony from the doctor who went inside for the forensics, and he is telling us that where were the lapses exactly. So as you mentioned, Navika, it was first Buddha Pithani who went inside, and he told that he got the body down, and then forensics team came, then the key maker came. Now the fact here is that why the room was in that particular condition? Why did the people enter the room before the police arrive or the forensics team arrive on this spot? This is the big question, and this is what even the forensic expert, the man who was inside the room, is citing, that there could be a high chances of evidences getting compromised or playing around with the evidences could have happened. And this is what sting that Priyank has done clearly establishes. And this is what at least now the investigators should look into, that why the cloth was found on the latch, and as you mentioned about the bed, that why the body was taken out from the cloth he was hanging by. So all these things are the major question which only raises suspicion. Now, Navika, this has been going on social media for the very long time, but this is the first time that Priyank has got us this testimony on camera, that what is the analysis of the experts from the forensic teams, what they have to say on the case, and their concerns are quite valid, and their concerns are something which are very important as far as investigators are concerned.
Well, let's take a look at all the lapses that have come out. Number one, why did the police not take the forensic team to the suicide scene? Why was there a 2-day delay for the forensic team to come to the scene of crime? Why did the police not even contact the forensic team after the death of Sushant Singh Rajput? How is it that the police didn't even bother to ask for the nail clippings? What about the fact that the latch, the keyhole, is something that was tampered with, and a flat piece put on it? Did it lead to the loss of evidence of fingerprints? Who tampered with the diaries? Why were there torn off pages? Who tore those pages? Why were pictures that were clicked, which were leaked later online, which were leaked to news channels? Who took those pictures? who took that video in which the Mumbai police is saying हमें ध्यान से देखना पड़ेगा नहीं तो हमारे केस में कुछ गड़बड़ ना हो जाए. And then the biggest question, Cooper Hospitals was 6 kilometers from Sushant's flat. Why couldn't the team go to a nearby hospital which also had these facilities? Big questions that are raised by this super exclusive investigation done by Times Now's crack investigation team and Priyank Tripathi, and questions that the Mumbai police will find very hard to answer. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with much more on the other side.